Last spring, we bought a tiny off-grid cabin in the woods, tore it apart and built it up again. In this video, we wanted to show you how we keep the cabin warm. In the end of the video, we will try to experiment with a whole new method that we haven't tried before, because the fireplace is kind of a huge problem, but I'll tell you all about that later. We also figured out what it would cost to heat up this place per year, and we'll share that with you in the ending. One of the decisions we made before started building was to insulate this place really well, both from the inside and the outside. We chose natural wood fiber insulation, as we wanted to build this place without chemicals, plastics and such, as far as we could. We knew that spending money on good insulation and spending time insulating every little crack in this crooked house would benefit us in the long run. Because whichever heating solution we would end up using, the heat would stay in the house longer. When we started moving in the summer, we used the open fireplace that came with the house, mostly for cozy evenings and heating up pizza that was too big for our camping gear. The kitchen stove that came with the house was pretty worn down and not approved by the chimney sweeper, so later we got a new one. This oven was my new best friend. I have cooked, baked, and most importantly, this is now our primary source of heat. This oven heats up the whole house. The open fireplace is a really bad solution in the winter, because being open also means that it drags out all the hot air straight through the chimney. So in the winter we have been popping some insulation in there and just used the kitchen stove. When we arrive here, it has often been around 0 to 3 degrees Celsius, and we need to get a fire going if we want to have the house heated by the time we go to sleep. As soon as we go to bed, there's nothing keeping the oven going. So we need that heat to stay in here until we get up the next morning to start feeding the stove with wood again. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's see what temperature it is. It's 18 degrees. We were out all day yesterday, all afternoon, and we just made a little fire in the evening before we went to bed, and still it's 18 degrees up here because of this amazing insulation. So that's good. What do you think? We have found out that it's most effective to heat up one room at a time. So we have, right now, we're not finished of course, but so we put a blanket here over the stairs. So we warm up the kitchen first, and then open up to the living room, and then last, in the evening, we open up to the bedroom, and of course have it open in the night. Before we learned that, Julian, he just opened up here in the beginning to heat up the upstairs first, because so it was ready for him to sleep. But then he had to sleep in his boiler suit because it was so cold up here. Heating up one room at a time is most effective in this house. But when we have been here for a couple of days, it is much easier to heat up the rooms. And the chimney is warm and it's faster to heat up. The first thing we do is always to start up a fire in the kitchen. And then sometimes we close off here, heat up the kitchen first, and then room by room. And sometimes we just let it flow.
Yeah, you can feel the cold air coming through the floor here, from the living room, and in here, and up behind the stove, and up here. And then it goes to the second floor and the living room, and there's a circulation of air here, and then it's heating up the whole house. So, yeah, quite efficient.
In the bathroom, this is the coldest room because we always keep the door closed, but when we have been here for some days, the chimney gets warm. so it gets a little bit warm in here as well. So that's really nice. The chimney has 3 rooms, so this gets warm right now and heats up a little bit in here. A hurricane is coming, so we just need to secure our things outside as good as we can. We didn't film anything the next few hours. It was really practical, moving around a lot of stuff and just making sure the cabin and the shed would be as safe as possible. We have gathered all the trash and now we're securing the shed. Here you go, honey.
Okay.
I'm going to get some water before the storm hits.
Good idea.
Okay, we're sitting on this. We have water, we have firewood, and we generate our own electricity. So I think we're ready.
You ready?
Ready for if a storm comes. Now it's too hot in the kitchen, so I will gladly open up to the bedroom. I wanted to challenge myself with this video and make an informational video and not a vlog. But it's really hard for me because that's the only way I know how. And now I'm going to bake a cake and rearrange the kitchen, and I really want to share that with you. So I'm gonna keep it to a minimum. And I promise you we will get right back to how to heat up this cabin. Cake's ready!
Det var jag.
Good morning. It's 6 o'clock in the morning and the hurricane is still outside, and I just looked out the window and it looks like everything is okay. But this video has turned out to be something completely different than I planned. I don't know if I know how to just make an informational video. But I just started a fire with some of the fire that we gathered yesterday. I had only a few small pieces, but I managed to do this. And this is how far we got with the kitchen yesterday. To start up this kind of oven, you'll need really small pieces to begin with. And when it gets really warm, you can put in bigger pieces. We use these small blocks to start it up. It's made out of wood and plant oil, but I'm practicing lighting up a fire without using any starter and just using the outer pieces of the wood and crunching them together and start the fire. And that's what I used today. 1 block of starter and just a bunch of bark, it's called, what you can rip off pieces of wood and then put in. And that's why I got this very nice fire started with only 3 medium pieces of wood. most important thing, the thing we were most concerned about, was the roof on the shed. And it looks like it's all here. Thank goodness, it's all good. Okay, so our off-grid cabin survived its first hurricane. And it doesn't look like much, I don't think it does. And I come from the Faroe Islands, where hurricanes are every year, I think. But this was the hardest storm there has been since 2016, at least in Denmark. I don't know if it was here too, but it looked pretty bad on the internet. So we are... Julian's still sleeping, but I'm happy. I know that this storm has just been on the Faroe Islands, where I have many of my friends and family, and I hope that all of you are safe and good, and that you didn't have anything destroyed. Yesterday, I know that in Copenhagen, buildings were evacuated. I hope that every one of you are safe, everyone in Denmark, where this storm has just passed through. Wherever this storm may go now, I'm sending you all the best of luck and love. And I know that this video is coming out after. Right now, I'm sending out a lot of love and hope.
For better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. 7 years now on this boat, and we all know where we belong. Just wait. For our home to show on the horizon, soon we'll be there. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn.
As I mentioned in the beginning, the fireplace is the least efficient way to heat up this house. So this weekend, Julian surprised me with a tent stove to bring on our adventures. And that's what he has been working on with the metal plate and the pipes. We of course had to try it out in the fireplace. It's common to put a little wood stove inside an old open fireplace to keep the heat from going outside. But this fireplace is not square inside, so it has been hard to find a stove to fit in it. We love to sit in front of the fire, and using the fireplace in a good way would really be helpful in heating up the cabin. So this little alternative solution was very exciting to try. The costs of heating this cabin up, as it is right now, if we lived here full time, it would be around $500 a year to keep this cabin warm, as we only use firewood that we buy from a farm in the area.
So simpelthen flammerne, det ser ud som om der er flammer i skorsten. So far it's working. it's warm.
There's no smoke.
There's no smoke.
So it's going out the chimney.
Mm-hmm.
The tea's ready.
The tea's ready. We will manage.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you got a little something out of it. And if you did, you are very welcome to subscribe to our channel, and we will pop up in your feed when we upload our next video. Until then, stay safe, be good, and goodbye.